What is up, y'all? DHR2 Productions. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with another video. So this time I'm going to react to Planted Productions about Vince McMahon himself, aka the guy who ruined the company as well as ruined the lives of his employees. So we're not going to get into all of that little situation right I have. I'll probably do that by the end of the video. Before we get into all this, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, share this video, tell your friends about me. So let's get to the video.
They self-employed when you're signed exclusively.
Right.
You can't work for nobody else.
It's a monopoly.
Yeah, they tell you when and where you'll work. They tell you who you'll work. They can totally control your life.
I like when he said that they can basically control your life. It's like you're not able to do whatever you want outside of the company. Much like how it is right now. As far as the third-party app situation is concerned, I will get to that. Let me shut up.
And yet they call you an independent contractor. How has the government allowed them to get away with that for 35 to 40 years?
It's not going to be easy for the WWE to thread the needle on this. They are pushing ahead with this event, despite the serious concerns of some of their own wrestlers and their own fan base.
They're putting their lives on the line, or their health on the line, their family life on the line, all the time. They've made Vince a billionaire, and then the fact that he's still being so heavy-handed about their ability to make a simple buck on Cameo just struck me as so absurd and ridiculous and wrong.
Do you have a reason why these people would be dying under the age of 45?
Sometimes I have to ask myself, why am I still supporting this company? I think we all know the answer to that. It's him finding a way to draw you in. He claims that he gives us what we want. Something that we did not ask for a long time. Treating his employees the wrong way. Especially bringing back old people to draw in viewers. You can't even find ways to work with your younger talent. That's how sad it is.
Why don't you ask yourself that question? I mean, why are you indicating that's my responsibility? These people are dead because...
I'm asking you if it's in any way, shape, or form falls on your shoulders.
I would accept no responsibility whatsoever for their untimely deaths. None whatsoever.
Nigga, you did not accept responsibility for Owen Hart's death. We shall not forget about that, ladies and gentlemen. That night when Owen Hart died, coming off the ceiling. Remember in 1989? Vince McMahon didn't say anything about taking accountability from Owen Hart's death. Even when Chris Benoit died in 2007, using steroids and killing himself and his daughter, all because of Vince McMahon himself with the steroid use. And look, you know what? There's a part of me that understood why they went PG in the first place. But man, I just feel like Vince McMahon, he's so eager to not take responsibility for his own actions instead of taking accountability. Let me shut up.
As far as, and you've got that little look on your face like,
Yeah,
geez, Vince, how can you possibly say that?
Well, but none whatsoever. I mean, they wrestled for you. They were part of your organization. They worked a couple of hundred nights a year for you.
Vince McMahon has always had this mentality.
The only thing I can give Vince McMahon credit for is giving us the Attitude Era, giving us Undertaker, characters that we know and love today. As far as everything else he's done, I cannot let that slide.
About treating wrestlers like circus animals. All these wrestlers that have broke their backs making this living for years end up with nothing when it's over. And then they sort of take you out back and they put a slug in the back of your head and dump you out. That's the life of a professional wrestler.
They still go with, here's your plane ticket, you're flying to Detroit, you're working Detroit, Chicago, Cape Girardeau, and St. Louis. So you rent your car in Detroit, you drop it off in St. Louis, you got to find your hotel rooms, you got to get a car that's got a good rate for the drop-off, all this stuff. And those are your expenses and your responsibility to do that. And that's another thing that I think people just are you kidding me? You really have to do that?
That's God's.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the biggest difference.
That's a pretty big difference.
Business Hulk here is a billionaire on the broken backs of his non-employees. The very least he can do is show the same dedication to wrestlers that they have shown to his company.
If I go down as someone who stood up for themselves and...
As a talking bucket of KFC, dinner time is my time to shine. Grab...
You know? So be it. But I'm still thankful. And I'm not angry. I'm just heartbroken. Because doing this, being a wrestler is all I ever wanted to do.
I was working on my video.
You know what's sad about this situation with Vince McMahon? Even his employees, those who used to work in the WWF, can tell you the exact same thing that Vince McMahon forces them to do. They can't even do whatever they want outside of the company. But as far as today's wrestlers, letting Zelina go, yeah, that's a big slap in the face of everybody who watches wrestling. Like I said, I don't even know about the character, but I do hope whatever she ends up in, she'll do better than what Vince McMahon has ever done.
About what makes Brock Lesnar matches so special until I saw what happened to Zelina Vega, and I immediately stopped because I knew I had to make this video. WWE announced that they released her. It seemed extremely random at the time. People just assumed that she asked for her release. But then, she tweeted last night saying that she supports unionization. With those 3 words, it told a deeper story about the bigger issue that lies within WWE. This year has been a disaster for employees under the company. It's gotten to the point where it's difficult to even support WWE anymore. As you know, I've been a huge fan of WWE my entire life, watching Raw and SmackDown ever since I was a young child. While I always will love the sport, I can no longer support Vince McMahon and the way he handles business. Even before this year, John Oliver's special on HBO about what WWE does really opened my eyes. Wrestlers are not employees for the company. This means Vince McMahon hires them as contractors. The result of that is a lack of health insurance and other benefits that every other sport pays for their employees, like traveling expenses. The fact that WWE wrestlers are forced to pay for their hotel and rental car is insane. Vince McMahon's contractors put their body on the line for the WWE, and the least he could do is pay for their health insurance. In an interview, Alexa Bliss explained that WWE does pay for injuries that happen in the ring, but what about the long-term effects that come from wrestling? Just because it doesn't happen in a WWE ring doesn't mean that the injuries weren't caused from the months and years of physical pain. After that special with John Oliver came out, nothing really happened. Wrestling fans were upset about it for a few days, nothing else came out of it. I even forgot about it myself, just moving past it. Fast forward to a year later, and we get to the day when WWE fired 30 employees and contractors. Names like EC3, Rusev, Kurt Angle, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and a few dozen more.
And you know what? What's sad about this also is that he refuses to work with other talents. He always got to bring in old-timers for ratings. Look, I have nothing against legends, but Vince McMahon needs to just stop relying on people from the past to focus on the now. But the thing is, he's turned this company into a kid show, and it's really unwatchable today. That's just the truth.
More people were released in the middle of a pandemic. WWE fired them in a time where many other wrestling promotions were closed. In fact, a lot of companies were downsizing. You'd assume that WWE was doing the same thing, but no. They had $500 million in cash that they were sitting on. Vince McMahon is even having one of the most profitable years of all time, despite these circumstances. It is heartless that he fired all those names in a time when there was so much uncertainty. You have to be cold-blooded to do such a thing. Rusev even had a story to tell about this, explaining how a bunch of wrestlers were gathering together in the back in order to unionize the wrestlers, making them official employees with benefits. WWE discovered this, and he claims that they fired him because of it to prove a point. They made an example out of Miro. If any other wrestlers wanted to talk about wanting basic rights as an employee, they would be fired. And this doesn't seem far-fetched at all. It seems like something Vince McMahon would have done. After all this news came out, similar to the last event, nothing happened. People tweeted about how ruthless Vince McMahon was as an owner of his company, and that's about it. A week later, everybody forgot about it. In just a few months, though, we had another issue that popped up. Vince McMahon found out that his talent was making money on other platforms like Twitch and Cameo.
Yeah.
You would think that these wrestlers wanted to make some extra side cash to pay for some of these expenses like the health insurance, but no.
Which is something that he refuses to do. You know what? I can see why the wrestlers did what they did by working outside of the company with the third-party apps, making money off of that to pay for their medical insurance and stuff. Something that Vince McMahon refuses to do. He really doesn't care about his employees' safety. I sometimes question, why isn't the man retired?
Vince McMahon's new executives will not allow this to happen. WWE is forcing all of them to shut down their accounts because they claim that they own their names, yet they are contractors. The talent reportedly have the legal rights to continue their side hustles since they are contractors, but Vince does not care. If you don't follow the boss's rules, you will either get suspended or fired. And that's just crazy in my opinion. It's not right.
It is, man.
Zelina Vega is the first victim of this, and I see it happening to Paige very soon because Vince McMahon does not want her to use her Twitch. Unlike the other horrible things WWE has done, I don't think I can just sit around and do nothing. I will continue to criticize WWE's business practices.
And you should.
I can no longer support the company. I think Vince McMahon is a bad boss who has no empathy for his wrestlers. A former Democratic presidential candidate in Andrew Yang has made it his mission to expose and fix this.
I hope
just
so.
Wants wrestlers to be treated fairly as employees with full benefits. Andrew cannot be the only one who wants to make a difference. Us wrestling fans can't just sit around acting like everything is fine. We have the power to do something about it, whether that's creating a hashtag about WWE unionization or simply boycotting the product by not watching. And that isn't a very difficult task because the product isn't that good anyways. Vince McMahon has gotten away with this for far too long. It is time we do something about it. And that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much.
You know what? Like I said before, Vince McMahon is the biggest problem today. He doesn't care about his employees. He doesn't care about the wrestlers' health. He doesn't care about what the fans think. He doesn't even give it the fans. He's the type of guy that doesn't give a crap what the fans think. He doesn't even give the fans what they want. And he doesn't even let his employees retire, especially Mark Calloway, who you know as The Undertaker. He can't even let him retire peacefully. But now you want him to come back to Survivor Series to do a final farewell. And you already know where this is going to head it. And that really goes to show you how much Vince McMahon is a total nut job and a complete idiot who always rely on older stars to build the ratings up. I don't know, man. Like this company sucks. But I sometimes feel like you have those who defend Vince McMahon. Those in the PG era. And you want to know what's even crazier? SmackDown is doing way better than Raw, in my opinion. Turning Roman Reigns heel is an excellent choice. Especially the storyline with his cousin. And now that they're doing a storyline with Drew McIntyre in Survivor Series. Him teaming up with Paul Heyman was a brilliant idea. Vince McMahon didn't write this. The creative team did. And that should tell you something how Vince McMahon definitely lost touch with reality itself. What y'all thoughts in the comment section below? Let me know, man. Shout outs to Plant Productions for making this video. If y'all enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna highlight y'all peoples later.